awesome and sometimes they're not so good, but it's all about learning the lesson, right? It's all about what you can take from it. Because if you don't learn the lesson, then you're not going to move forward and you're going to keep reliving it all the time. So it's very important that you reflect, right? But you got to reflect after the pain. After the pain of whatever it is you're going through subsides, that's when it's a good time to reflect. Because until then, you're too emotionally involved. You're not going to be able to get through it, right? Very important. So what else is very important is it's time for the good news. Love the good news portion of the show. So this is very cool. The first vending machine for the homeless is going to launch in the UK. It isn't just a vending machine. It may be the UK's first vending machine designed specifically for the homeless. Now, we've talked about different, community fridges and that sort of thing where it's just been free food or sometimes it's free other items. Like down the street from me, there's a bin where it's toiletries. She won't let you put food in there because she's concerned about rodents. Which that may apply to some. It's just easier, I think, just to say no food at all. But you can get toilet paper. I don't know. I haven't actually looked in it, but I see the rotating stuff in there all the time, which is very cool. So this is like the same idea, but more controlled. The machine, which is set to open, in Nottingham at the start of December, will be stocked with fresh fruit, sandwiches, clean socks, ooh, I like that, books, lotions, sanitary towels, toothpaste, and other essentials. UK charity Action Hunger will be working alongside the Friary to Surplus Grocery Food Charity to hand out 100 specially designed key cards to the city's priority homeless population. Homeless individuals are only allowed to use the key cards up to 3 times a day in order to prevent abuse of the machine's inventory. Additionally, they will have to check in with the Friary once a week in order to keep using the cards. The chips within the key card can be deactivated if they are lost or stolen. What an interesting idea. Depending on the machine's success, Action Hunger hopes to install several more of the vending machines in Manchester, London, and Birmingham during the coming months, according to the Nottingham Post. The British news outlet says that the Friary will be providing half of the machine's inventory alongside Action Hunger. Hopefully, the machine will have two-pronged effect. It will provide the homeless within 24-hour resources and put them in more consistent contact with charities that can help them get back on their feet. Absolutely awesome. And that makes sense, right? Oh my goodness, that is great. I think that's a great idea. So we'll have to stay tuned as to how that works and to see if they end up putting more out. That is absolutely fantastic. This story is also very cool too. It's a solution, and we talk about that a lot. You need to focus on problems, but only to the point where you find a solution. So here in Canada, this is very relatable for us. And it's interesting because the beginning goes, you may not have even heard about it, but black ice can be quite dangerous on the road. Oh, we know here in Canada, we sure do. Now researchers from Finland have developed a system which they say allows drivers to detect it in real time and adjust their driving accordingly. Black ice, sometimes called clear ice, is a thin sheet of ice on a surface, especially common on roads and bridges. According to the World Meteorological Organization, it is a thin ice layer on a fresh or saltwater body which appears dark in color because of its transparency. As the WMO says, it's not really dark, it's transparent, which makes it seem dark on the surface of the road. It tends to form on relatively dry roads, and the fact that you cannot really see it makes it quite dangerous. For walkers, this introduces a risk of slipping, and for drivers, it significantly increases the risk of skidding and subsequent accident due to the unexpected loss of traction. Any Canadian who drives has experienced it at one point or another. Some newer model cars feature some detection and warning systems, but scientists from VTT Technical Research Center of Finland believe they can revolutionize such detection systems. Now, if you're on Facebook, make sure you go and follow up and check out this actual article, because it shows a whole map of how this all will come together. The system they designed allows slippery road construction conditions to be detected extremely accurately and at much lower costs than currently existing warning systems. It's easy to implement. It can be installed as part of software already existing in the vehicles, and it can also benefit cars, which don't even have the system, as long as they are capable of data sharing and are equipped with a tracking system. In other words, cars with the physical detection system can also communicate the information to other cars, issuing warnings in real time or even before to help plan routes and avoid streets with icy patches. Oh man, that's awesome. The driving optimization system we have developed is only one capable of recognizing the driver's input in economical driving, taking also into account factors dependent of the driver, such as weather conditions, traffic jams, and vehicle-related differences, says Jarmo Lino from EEE Innovations, the company that developed the service. Researchers say that this could not only make the roads safer, but they could also help reduce consumption during cold spells. Their pilot data shows that savings up to 20% in fuel consumption can be reached, in addition to improved road safety. Who doesn't want to save a little bit of money, right? That is absolutely awesome. So here in Canada, that's something that we should also keep an eye on, so that if it does come to our country, we can utilize it. Because like I say, I know I've spun out a couple times. I've never actually been in a car accident. Knock on wood. But I have slipped. I've absolutely done a 360 on black ice before, and luckily I just bumped into a snowbank that was there to save me, apparently. But it totally sends you for a loop, doesn't it? Because it happens so fast. 1 minute you're driving, next minute you're in a snowbank. That's how quick it is. So that would be absolutely awesome. Very cool. And my last one here, also very good, and another one that I think would apply, just saying, to the area where I live, here in Sarnia, Ontario, the most polluted city in the country. This is really interesting. With cooler temperatures at hand, scarves are the ideal fashion staple to guard against chilling winds. But this particular model provides more than just protection from the cold. It also protects the wearer from pollution that hangs in the air left by cars, buses, and factories. It was invented by an American couple after a business trip to China, when Carlton Seoul became ill, most likely due to complications related to air pollution. As an alternative to wearing a mask to protect themselves, they turned to fashion. Back in Atlanta, his wife Hazel came up with the idea to design a product that would work both as a scarf and also a filter, and they created a business model that would give free scarves to people around the world who lack resources to protect themselves. Under its Plus One program, for every BioScarf sold, Hazel and Carlton are donating another product to an individual at risk. I love that. The BioScarf could be considered a genius example of wearable technology, because although it filters dangerous level of toxic particulates, it uses no gadgets, processors, or batteries. 3 layers of protection guard against hazardous contaminants that pose a risk to your health, including, according to the company, many of the bacteria and germs that causes colds and influenza. With its U.S. rating of N95, the generously sized scarf is capable of blocking 99.75% of all particles 0.1 microns in size or larger, and 95% of all non-oil-based airborne particles, Geez, I'm reading challenge today. Measuring 0.3 microns. So, very cool. There's lots more about it in this article if you want to come check it out yourself. But it just looks like a regular scarf. So I think that's a great idea. And, you know, as soon as I stumbled across this, the first place I thought of was China. Because they're always wearing masks. I just couldn't make it there. It just couldn't happen for me. It just wouldn't even be worth it. Oh my gosh. So this is a wonderful thing. Now we know the better thing is to eliminate the pollution. But in the meantime, hey, if this works, then that's a wonderful thing. Absolutely great. So the last thing I want to share with you today is just a little bit of food knowledge. Because, you know, we are what we eat, and food is medicine. Oh, man, you know, we were talking earlier about all the changes going on about, you know, in politics and all this stuff. And you know, our food is changing. People are learning what to avoid, what, you know, helps them, what is natural medicines. And now, you know, with the legalization of marijuana here in Canada, that's going to help people too get off some of the terrible medicines that they're on. And actually, it's not the medicine. It's not the disease. It's the side effects, right? So, quickly, 10 processed foods to avoid. What is a processed food, you ask? Well, ideally, we'd shop the farmer's market every day for fresh local foods and make all of our goodies from scratch, right? That would be the ideal scenario. But in reality, we live far from our food sources. We have to buy food we can store on a shelf. And we live too busy of lives. We really do. You know, we need to just slow down and, start living life again. Not what we're doing. We're all just running this program. You got your program to run. You get up, you do your 3 things, you go to work, you work to live and live to work, and it's a rat race. We need to slow down and smell the flowers. We need to play with the kids. We need to run with the dog. We need to hug somebody. We need to do some good stuff. But we need to feel good in order to do that, right? So, number one thing, this is going to be pretty disheartening to a lot of people. Bacon. That's right, I said it, bacon. Because it contains such high levels of sodium, right? Can lead to high blood pressure. Next thing, granola bars. You know, when I started speaking for Weight Watchers, I realized how bad for you granola bars are. I had no idea. They are so stuffed, oh my gosh, with sugar. They're loaded with added sugars, which digest too fast, and they don't satisfy your hunger. That's what you need, right? So they're like beer nuts on the bar. They just make you hungrier. They don't fill you up. Next thing, instant ramen, right? The noodles. We all lived off different Mr. Noodles or different noodles through our lifetime, I'm sure. You know, I remember growing up, we ate way too much Kraft Dinner. It's a different kind of noodle, but still. So something you want to avoid. Now, keep in mind, in moderation, this stuff's not going to kill you. It's eating it as a main part of your diet, which is a problem. Dried fruit. Hey, didn't we hear in the 70s and the 80s, dried fruit was so good for you, It's got a high sugar punch. It's high in calories, so think about that. Flavored nuts. Flavored anything is going to be chemicals, right? Your chips, you eat all those bizarre flavors. Chemicals. So flavored nuts, not good. Fruit snacks, totally artificial. Full of that terrible high fructose corn syrup and cane sugar. Can lead to weight gain. You're not feeling full. You're high risk for diabetes. No. Don't be giving those to your kids. Margarine. I could do a whole show on margarine. Horrible. Get rid of it. Get it out of your house. Go for the butter. And you know, grilled cheese has never tasted the same unless you're using butter. You need to use the butter. Microwave popcorn. Terrible. I don't even own a microwave. Maybe do some studies on why that's bad for you. But it's actually the chemical that's found in the microwave popcorn bag. And it's a really big word that I can't say. I'm just going to own it. Nope, can't say it. But it's a big word. And I'll put it on the Facebook page. See, I can admit it. Ketchup. Full of sugar. Oh my gosh. You know what else is full of sugar? Spaghetti sauce. Terrible. So I've started making it with, tomato paste and a little package of spices. I make as much spaghetti sauce as I ever had before from a jar without the sugar, and it costs me less. So just food for thought. So ketchup, very bad for you. Frozen dinners, very bad for you. But again, like I said, at the end of the article, it does say, which I totally agree, all things in moderation. I bash McDonald's. I bash all sorts of stuff. But once in a while, not so bad. It's the person that goes through the drive-thru every, 3 times a week. Terrible. That's where it's going to do stuff to your body, and you're not going to feel good. And if you don't feel good, how do you move forward and enjoy your life? This is the thing. So there you go. That's the good news for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And it's time for us to get back to, actually, you know how on the show here, I play like parody commercials. So I have some commercials that are about nature. They're promoting nature, and they're fun. So I found one recently that is actually pro-pot. And I just think it's a funny little commercial, so I'm going to share it with you now. I hope you enjoy it, because it's going to be legal in July, whether people like it or they don't. It's coming, and you can see it all over. You can see they've been hiring different marijuana grow plants that they've taken from a different kind. The one is pepper plants, not far from here. And I hear there's 2 more moving to the area. We are rolling with this, and this is good. This could help our opioid epidemic. It can help people get off all sorts of meds. The proof is there. We dropped the ball, but we're picking it up now. So that's what's important. So moving forward, I'm